What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and I am joined by Degenerate Jay. Jay, it's been quite a while since we've been on, but I think this is going to be a really fun video. Justice League is only a few weeks away. Now, I think by the time this video goes up, people end up seeing it. I think it's going to be around 2 weeks away. So I've done review score predictions. We've talked about this movie. I was about to say game because I cover games so much. We've talked about this movie once a week for actually quite a few weeks. We're getting down there, and so I thought this would be kind of a good way of just, bringing in Jay. Big, obviously I'm a big fan of his. He does an amazing job on his channel. Make sure you guys are supporting him. All his stuff is going to be in the description and in a pinned comment. But we're just going to kind of break down where we're at with Justice League. A good time to kind of recap what we're expecting from it, what we're hoping for, our expectations, all that good stuff. And obviously, we want to hear from you guys in the comments. So I'll start, but Jay, really quickly to introduce you, thank you so much for being on this video with me yet again.
Hey, thanks, man, for having me. I appreciate it. I'm always excited to talk with you about pretty much anything, and Justice League is certainly an interesting thing coming up that people are certainly opinionated on.
First, and I think that's right up our alley, Jay. So yeah, that's a really good point. So yeah, obviously, we want to hear from you guys. I know there's a lot of diehard Justice League, or Zack Snyder, I should say, kind of fans that watch these videos, and that's totally cool. So I'll start really quickly. Even last week when we talked about the review score predictions for this movie, I am excited. I got to be honest. I'm getting more excited as the weeks go on. I made that kind of quote-unquote controversial tweet, which I don't think was controversial, that I actually didn't mind the 2017's Justice League. I rewatched it a few weeks ago. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was good. I didn't think it was bad. I still watch it literally with just zero expectation of anything. I'm pumped for this movie, and I get more pumped as each day goes on. I tend to do that with kind of a lot of things. I'm sure I'll get more excited for Godzilla vs. Kong. Even though I'm not even that big of a fan, I'm sure I'll get more excited as the weeks go on. I'm hopeful. This movie is kind of everything, I guess kind of everything we want it to be. I know that would maybe be kind of maybe that's a controversial thing, right? Because I think people's expectations are going to be really, really high. I'm expecting the same story beats that we got. Obviously, we know it's going to follow the same story beats, but just with additional stuff. I do think he can make this movie good, like borderline good, if not better than that. I'm excited to see his vision finally come to life. I'm still not all that thrilled with it being 4 hours. I mean, I've talked about it. You guys kind of know my personal life. Like I have dogs, I have a wife, I have a daughter. Like 4 hours for a movie is next to impossible. So I'm gonna try to watch it during the day. It comes out like 3 a.m. or something like that around like the 18th. So I hope to watch it during the day. If not, I'm gonna have to split it up. Maybe even the way that Snyder wanted to do it in the hour-long kind of show thing. So Jay, this is kind of the first. I know when we're recording this, you're having a Justice League video go up. By the time you guys are seeing this video, Jay's video will have already gone up. But what kind of are you expecting from this? What are your, where's your hype level, all that kind of stuff?
So first off, I don't know what to expect from certain elements, and I'm not going to get too far into this because I did make a 20-minute long video about this, which is the one you were referring to. I don't know what to expect from WB here because there was actually reports that came out that they knew when Joss Whedon was releasing Justice League that it was bad. And when I say bad, I mean like they didn't get it. They thought that there were issues with it, like for example the Russian family at the end that was the only family living in that town and they had to save them. The cartoony robber on the roof with Batman at the beginning, the rushed resurrection of Superman, stuff like that. They were like, we don't really think Joss Whedon's idea is good, but like we didn't trust Snyder either, so let's just give it a go. And it came out and people didn't really click with it. I mean, I agree with you. I think that it's fine. I actually made a review about it, I think probably 4 or 5 months ago. I don't remember exactly what I called it, but I think I called it a fun mess or a fun, messy movie. It's got a lot of problems. It's not perfect at all. It's like a mid-tier to low mid-tier superhero movie, I think, but it's okay. What concerns me about the Snyder cut or the Zack Snyder's Justice League is that some new footage is shot and being used. Some footage from before when they shot the movie originally with Snyder is being used. Some footage, I believe, from, the Whedon version is being used. And then you also have certain people being called back in for reshoots, which I don't remember if I just said that, but others weren't. So for example, there were some stars that came out and said, yeah, I didn't need to reshoot anything. And so to me, it's like, well, is this going to be true to Zack Snyder's original vision? And was his original vision good? Because they also talked about how in this interview with this WB exec that I'm referencing, and I found it on Games Radar originally, basically they said that some of the ideas for Snyder's Justice League were also equally puzzling for the studio and would have been for other people too. Like one idea that was pitched was to have Batman fall in love with Lois Lane and then not know if he wanted to revive Superman because he was in love with Lois Lane and didn't want her to go back to him. Like, that was Snyder. Like that was one of those ideas. There's other amazing ideas like Martian Manhunter, so I don't know what to expect out of this thing. The trailers are put together masterfully. That said, as someone who was a cringy teenager and used to make animated music videos of like anime and put things like edgy, Linkin Park songs over it and stuff, you can make anything look really cool with good music, good tone, and great editing. And that's kind of why I'm like interested, and I'm really hoping that this is good, but I'm not sure how far to push the hype for it myself. I like Zack Snyder. I think he's been dealt a raw deal. I think that it's unacceptable how some people have treated him, like mocking him when his daughter committed suicide, stuff like that. I think that is just absolutely unacceptable and disgusting. But I also think there's a group of people who almost worships him as like one of the best filmmakers ever made, and they love him to death, and that's cool. But I don't know if either of these groups of people are like objectively looking at what's coming out at all, or if it's just like the polar opposite of the same coin, I guess.
Right. You brought up a really good point when you were talking that you got me thinking. One thing that I pray, and it's something I thought about like a week or two ago, when I think right around the time what you're saying, when they talked about all these failed ideas or pitched ideas, and I was thinking, one thing I absolutely hope does not happen, because I will be furious, and I'll actually turn because I guess you talk about people that love him, people that hate him. I want his vision to come through. I'm not like, I don't think he's the greatest filmmaker ever. I don't think he's garbage, right? So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. But let me tell you, if after this movie comes out and he still says things like how he couldn't tell his full version or his full story, I'm gonna lose it, because that to me, and I want to hear your thoughts on it after, that to me would be completely unacceptable. That we went through all this, we went through $70 million, however much it was, right, to do all the reshoots and get everything ready, and then for him, say the movie's bad, right, say the movie like isn't liked by fans, and then him in like the defense, like to try to defend himself, he's like, well, we did all this stuff, like this was all amazing to do, but I still didn't get to tell the full, and like how you said, like, well, I wanted to do the love romance, but I couldn't fit it in this one. Like if I had a third chance, or if we restarted from scratch, I could probably do it. If I hear anything, and that's something I think like David Ayer would say, honestly, that's good. Like I'm not that big of a fan of him, but that's something he would do, where it's like, well, the movie was still garbage, and he's like, yeah, but you give me 5 tries, I'll definitely nail it by then. And like I know this is a little off topic with Justice League, but this goes into the overall movie. If it's bad, and I've talked about this, right? If it's bad, what happens? If it's good, what happens? If it's bad, I don't want to hear, kind of like a PR safety net of him being like, well, they still didn't let me do this, or they still didn't, or, however he words it. I don't want to hear that. So that's something that, I'm going in, I'm not expecting the movie to be the best movie of all time. I've said that before, right? I'm kind of expecting it just to be fun, just to kind of fill in some of the blanks, tell a slight spin on what we know already is going to happen, right? Because if I'm watching the exact same movie again, but with all this like talk of gloss, but there really isn't any, then I'm going to be disappointed. So I would say success to me for this movie is as long as it feels pretty different. Like I wouldn't say radically, but as long as it feels reasonably different than the original, I will be happy. But it does need to be solid. If it's not solid and then I hear other garbage stuff like that, then I'm going to be pretty darn mad. So any final thoughts, Jay? Anything on the whole, that kind of like them trying to protect themselves afterwards?
Yeah, the one issue I have with it, I do agree that would be very annoying. The one issue I do have with it is that it seems like they are giving him part of what he wanted. Like they did want to put some money back into it and stuff, but I do wonder, like, I guess, is it, what Zack Snyder originally wanted actually? That's kind of my question with this, because certain actors didn't come back for reshoots, weren't asked to come back for reshoots, stuff like that. So is that really because they had 100% of the footage that was going to be in the Snyder version? Or what's going on here? Was the Snyder version really going to be 4 hours long in theaters? Because like that doesn't make sense to me either. So what was this going to originally be, I guess, is my question. And there's no way to measure that. Like there's no way for you and me to sit down and objectively look at the movie and say, oh well, this is exactly what Zack Snyder would have done, because we're not in his head and we don't really know. And there's no way they would have released a 4-hour movie. It would have been like severely edited, kind of like Batman v Superman. So we don't know what that version would have been. At the end of the day, we're just kind of left to accept that everybody's telling the truth and this is what it was supposed to be. But I don't really know. I hope it's good. I have hopes for it. I think that no matter what you do, there's problems with this universe that you can't really fix. For example, the Batman. Like I like this Batman a lot, but dropping us in after he's already broken and started killing people versus ever explaining how it got to that point, or I guess walking us into it. Even if you do a flashback at this point, it's like, well, you did a whole movie where he was doing that and people didn't connect with it, and now it looks like damage control, stuff like that. There's a lot here that I don't know how you fix. And there was also the statements that it seems like WB is not interested in continuing his vision after this. It's basically a one-off, is what a lot of people are saying. So how does it even matter? Stuff like that. Is this now the canon Justice League in the DC or Worlds of DC Extended Universe or whatever? Or is this just a fun director's cut? I don't really know.
No, totally. There's a lot going on with this movie. So to wrap it up, guys, let us know in the comments below, what do you think? What are your final thoughts, your final expectations, anything you want to talk about regarding Justice League? Let us know. By the time you guys see this, we should only be, again, around 2 weeks away from the movie. I will be covering it more. We'll review it. We'll do all that good stuff when the movie comes out. Really quickly, and to kind of finish up, make sure, as always, you guys are obviously subscribed here. Bell icon turn on so you know when all these videos go up. And make sure you guys are supporting Jay, an amazing, amazing creator. Like we said, at the time you guys are watching this video, his Justice League video is already gone up. He does videos on so many different things. An amazing, amazing guy. All his stuff is going to be in the description as well as a pinned comment. Jay, thank you so much for being on this video with me.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. I had a great time, and I look forward to more.
Sounds good, buddy. So thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the movie when it comes out. Maybe take some breaks in between, and we will see all of you guys there.